Rick Riggs came to work in 1974. I looked at his resume, and he had gone to OU, had an outstanding academic career, but had gone to Michigan Law School. I was very curious as to why this guy from Oklahoma City, who had grown up here, gone through the public school system, gone to OU, had an outstanding academic career, ended up at Michigan Law School. So the first time I met Rick, we talked about that, and he kind of felt the same way, and you couldn't get him to say 3 words. He just explained his position and was quiet and always humble and, it's not that big of a deal and all that. But we kind of thought it was. And, that gave us impetus to recruit out-of-state universities, frankly, to have a guy like Rick in the room. And he was a real critical part of our team. Super smart, humble, quiet, outstanding lawyer, checks all the boxes, and was always there when you needed him. Always.
Well, of course, Rick is an excellent lawyer. You start with that. Rick proves the point that you can be a nice person and also be a good lawyer. I think what Rick really brings to our real estate practice in particular is a calm and reasonable approach to every problem. Everyone has their own style, but Rick is one of those who kind of calms the water and provides that steady hand to solve the problem and move ahead. I went to Rick for certain kinds of real estate issues, primarily if it involved technicality, how to read a statute, how did the law apply to my particular situation. I would often go to Rick just to bounce ideas off of him. Usually there were no answers to those, but it was helpful to have somebody else's view of how it worked.
One thing I respected and admire so much about Rick is his demeanor. His quiet demeanor, his calm approach to negotiating and problem solving, I think has a very positive effect on the transactions that I've observed him be a part of. Because sometimes emotions do get in the way, and that's where I appreciate the way that Rick takes the emotion out and helps just calm and settle people down. It's been a privilege and an honor for me to not just work with him, but watch him work over the years. I started as a litigator, so I initially watched him from afar. But when I transitioned from litigation to real estate practice, I got the chance not just to work with him, but actually on some occasions to work opposite of him. One transaction that I remember in particular is when OPEBCO was selling its corporate campus to American Fidelity. We worked out a joint representation arrangement. Our clients wanted Rick to represent American Fidelity, wanted me to represent OPEBCO, and so I just remember how tremendously smoothly that transaction progressed, because when you're working with someone that you know and you respect and you trust, it was a wonderful experience to work on that opposite side of the table.
Rick's been a great friend and a law partner. He was a couple of years ahead of me when I joined the firm, but I immediately recognized how bright, calm, knowledgeable he was and what a valuable mentor he would be. I will say the most enjoyment of my relationship with Rick over the years was practicing law together and sharing the work that we did, the problems that we solved together for our clients, and we did a lot of work together over the years.
Rick Riggs has always been a pillar of McAfee and Taft, in particular the real estate practice. My first year at the firm, Rick came to me and asked me to do a very quick and small project in connection with the development of the Devon Tower. And I did it, and I turned it around. It wasn't anything of material value in my view, but he came to me afterwards and he told me how much he appreciated it and how valuable it was. And so even though it was a very insignificant piece of the puzzle for such a hallmark and monumental real estate project for our community, Rick really made me feel like I was part of the team. And he was always very appreciative and very kind and showing, his gratitude for the people that worked on projects with him. So I've always remembered that. And, fast forward 15 years from that 2007 summer lunch with Rick, and here I am, a partner at McAfee and Taft, practicing primarily in real estate transactions. So I've always, thought of Rick in that respect and always thanked him for mentoring me in that area.
Rick Riggs was one of the first attorneys I worked with when I joined McAfee Taft about 10 years ago. And I was very fortunate that he was willing to take a chance on a young lawyer that didn't know much about real estate. He spent a lot of time explaining, teaching, and I just can't quantify how much I learned from Rick over the last 10 years. He's the most thoughtful and measured person in the way he approaches everything, and something I've been really impressed by and tried to incorporate into my own practice as well.
Well, it's hard to believe, but it's been more than 40 years since we first started working together. I was running the office of Spalding and Sly here in town, and then started Wiggin Properties, and Rick did work for both of these firms and has done it for more than 40 years. So it's been a long relationship. It's no secret why he's been our counsel for so many years. Rick is a very thoughtful, very responsive, hardworking. He was a terrific attorney. I really liked the advice I was getting from him. He's made it his business to understand our business. He's always looking out for our interests. He was asking the right questions and then suggesting the right answers. And that was immensely valuable to me.
It's my pleasure to participate in honoring my friend, Richard A. Riggs, for 49 years in the successful practice of law at McAfee and Taft. But that's not who I want to talk about. Instead, I want to talk about Ricky Riggs. I want to talk about Ricky Riggs, a student 65 years ago at Putman Heights Grade School, a member of Cub Scout Pack 1, a member of Boy Scout Troop 2. And what I remember about Rick and all those things was that he was kind. He was kind to others, as he is to this day. He has been and continues to be an extraordinary lawyer, but he's made a fantastic life and made for a better world because of his kindness to others. Rick, congratulations. I've always been proud of you, and I'm proud of you today.
Rick, you were my go-to guy for many years, and I really appreciate all the good advice that you gave us. Sage advice and good wisdom from years of experience working on real estate transactions. I'm going to miss you, but I know you'll enjoy your retirement. Knowing you, you've probably got all of this figured out in advance. Good luck, Rick. I've enjoyed working with you.
Rick, congratulations on your distinguished legal career. Wish you and Judy nothing but the best in the years to come, and I thank you for all of your contributions to the firm and to me and my practice. Thank you.
Rick, I just want to say congratulations on a wonderful career at McAfee Taft. You don't think of real estate lawyers at McAfee Taft without thinking of Rick Riggs. And I want to thank you for all the mentorship and leadership and contributions you've made to the McAfee Taft family and to all of our clients over the years. And I wish you the happiest of retirement. Thank you.
Rick, you are the calmest, most thoughtful, and knowledgeable lawyer that I think I've ever worked with. Countless lawyers in Oklahoma City and beyond have, when your name comes up, have mentioned what a wonderful guy you are to work with, how you always find the right way to solve problems. And it's hard to believe that you're really going to retire, but Marcy and I wish you and Judy all the best. We hope you won't be a stranger around here. We know we'll make sure there's still an office with your name on it, and we hope to see you here often and enjoy many more years of friendship together.
Rick, congratulations on a job well done for so many years, and I'm excited to see what the next chapter holds for you.
Rick, I wish you the best luck in your retirement. And I do have a suggestion and a comment. One of the things about being a lawyer is we pretty much live in our heads. But as real estate lawyers, we have the benefit of having projects out there we've worked on. I find it comforting to drive around and just see the buildings that I helped get built. I think it's a lasting legacy for you and even for your family and your kids.
Congratulations on your retirement. You've been a wonderful partner for a very long period of time, and I respect you greatly. And let's get together, and Judy and I will at least have a martini together. Thank you.